Have a look around you from where you are sitting. You will see that everything in the room has been made. All the countless details, such as the walls, the furnishings, the lamp, the chair you are sitting in, the glass on the table, the carpet, none of them came into being by itself. And neither did the universe that we live in. Everything, every tiny detail, from the atomic, the smallest component of matter, to galaxies containing billions of stars, from the moon, the inseparable companion of the Earth, to the solar system they inhabit, works together in a breathtaking harmony. Paul Davies, one of the best-known contemporary astrobiologists, describes this harmony in the words, "Everywhere we look in the universe, from the far-flung galaxies to the deepest recesses of the atom, we encounter order. Central to the idea of a very special orderly universe is the concept of information. A highly structured system, displaying a great deal of organized activity, needs a lot of information to describe it. Alternatively, we may say that it contains much information." This reveals a very obvious truth. The universe was created and is regulated and preserved through a sublime knowledge and power. And that sublime knowledge and power are those of Almighty Allah. In the Quran, Allah reveals that the earth and the sky will be preserved while they are under His might. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. Allah keeps a firm hold on the heavens and earth, preventing them from vanishing away. And if they vanished, no one can then keep hold of them. Certainly He is most forbearing, ever forgiving. In this documentary, we will be going on a journey to the Milky Way, some 10 million light-years from Earth, and from there to deep inside the atom, and will witness the magnificent order with which the universe was created. This is the universe we inhabit with all its glory. Ten to the power of 23 meters, 10 million light-years. The starting point of our journey. We are 10 million light-years from the Milky Way. Thought of in terms of the vastness of space in general, the Milky Way is a very small place. It occupies barely a dot within it, because there are other galaxies in space, some 300 billion according to the recent estimates. The Milky Way, visible from so far away, contains the solar system, the planets, and the Earth we live on. You, your home, the city you live in, and even the planet you inhabit, the sun that heats the planet, the millions of stars like it, are all inside this dot you are looking at. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. He is the originator of the heavens and earth. When He decides on something, He just says to it, "Be," and it is. 10 to the power of 22 meters, 1 million light-years. We are 1 million light-years from the Milky Way that contains 250 billion stars like our Sun. There are billions of systems linked to the stars in this galaxy that resembles a swirl of white smoke. Yet we are so far away that the whole body looks like a simple white cloud. 10 to the power of 21 meters, 100,000 light-years. If you look at the sky on a clear cloudless night, you will see a belt of stars extending from one edge to the other. This mass of stars, which extends into deepest vastness of the sky and that revolves around its own axis at an amazing speed, is known as the Milky Way. Astrophysicists calculating this speed were unable to conceal their astonishment. Our galaxy, which completes a full circuit of its orbit every 250 million years, moves through the universe at an extraordinary speed. This figure is one of the proofs of the infinite might of our Lord, who causes giant galaxies to move at speeds the human mind finds it hard to conceive. 10 to the power of 20 meters, 10,000 light years. The galaxies are one of the proofs of the ordered structure in the universe. The estimated number of galaxies is around 300 billion, and in terms of space in general, the Milky Way occupies only a very minute space. The voids between these galaxies are millions of times greater than that of the distance between the Sun and Alpha Centauri. George Greenstein says this about the vastness in question in his book, The Symbiotic Universe. Had the stars been somewhat closer, astrophysics would not have been so very different. The fundamental physical processes occurring within stars, nebulas, and the like would have proceeded unchanged. The appearance of our galaxy as seen from some far distant vantage point would have been the same. About the only difference would have been the view of the nighttime sky from the grass on which I lie, which would have been yet richer with stars. And, oh yes, one more small change. There would have been no me to do the viewing. This gigantic gap of the space is the prerequisite for our being. The way that Allah has created the earth as a home for life within the boundless voids of the universe is a point requiring deep reflection. We inhabit a world that occupies a space so small in the infinite void that it barely exists at all. In fact, it is not just our earth, but even our whole galaxy that occupies an exceedingly small space within the universe. Now imagine just how much room you occupy within the glorious vastness of the universe. Ten to the power of 19 meters, 1,000 light years. We are traveling through the Milky Way, and the sun is not yet visible. Huge masses of stars resemble tiny dots. After the Big Bang, only hydrogen and helium atoms appeared in the universe. Astronomers maintain that giant clouds made up of these atoms were compacted together under specially regulated conditions in order to constitute stars like the Sun. But even if that had happened, the universe would still have continued to exist as a dead mass of cloud made up of these two kinds of atoms. Another process would be needed to turn these two gases into heavier elements. The production centers for these heavy elements is the red giants, enormous stars 50 times larger, on the average, than our Sun. Red giants are far hotter than ordinary stars like our Sun, and this means they can do things that normal stars cannot. They convert helium atoms into carbon atoms, but this conversion is no simple process. In the words of the American astrophysicist Greenstein, an extraordinary process takes place within the depths of these stars. 10 to the power of 18th meters, 100 light years. 10 to the power of 17th meters, 10 light years. Astronomers use the term supernova to describe the fragmentation of a star in the form of an explosion. A giant star is destroyed in a terrifying explosion, and the matter it contains is flung far and wide at an enormous speed. Through these explosions, matter is carried from one point in the universe to the others. The stellar remains flung out as a result of explosions represent the raw material for the construction of new stars, solar systems, planets, and asteroids as they combine together elsewhere in the universe. Investigation of the Sun, the planets in the solar system, our Earth, and the natural elements in them reveals that they were created as the result of a supernova explosion a very long time ago. Iron is the main constituent of asteroids and meteors. Space is full of this cooled iron. Examination of meteors that enter the Earth's atmosphere and eventually fall to land through the force of gravity shows that they are to a large extent made up of iron. In his book, Nature's Destiny, Michael Denton writes, "The distances between supernova, and indeed between all stars, is critical for other reasons. The distance between stars in our galaxy is about 30 million miles. If this distance was much less, planetary orbits would be destabilized. If it was much more, then the debris thrown out by a supernova would be so diffusely distributed that planetary systems like our own would in all probability never form. If the cosmos is to be a home for life, then the flickering of the supernova must occur at a very precise rate, and the average distance between them, and indeed between all stars, must be very close to the actual observed figure. The ratio of supernovas and stars' distances are just two more of the fine-tuned details of this miraculous universe. Examining deeper the universe, the arrangements we see is beautiful both in organization and plan. 10 to the power of 16th meters, 1 light year. When we look at the universe in rather more detail, we encounter an order in a constant state of growth and based on the most delicate balances. The Milky Way has a spiral shape. The stars and celestial bodies in spiral galaxies have been so located as to form a thick, circular center and arms protruding in the same plane and at the same angle from the center out. There are some stellar systems within the gaps between these arms, but very, very few. Our solar system is one of those between such spiral arms. So what is the significance of the solar system lying between those arms? First of all, from where we are, we possess a very clear and distinct view of the gases and wastes in the spiral arms. If we were inside one of those arms, our view would be significantly impaired. Professor Michael Denton, in his book Nature's Destiny. What is so striking is that the cosmos appears to be not just supremely fit for our own being and for our biological adaptations, but also for our understanding. Because of the position of our solar system on the edge of the galactic rim, we can gaze farther into the night to distant galaxies and gain knowledge of the overall structure of the cosmos. Were we positioned in the center of a galaxy, we would never look on the beauty of a spiral galaxy, nor would we have any idea of the structure of our universe.